and you can watch them afterwards. I am still going to be taking roll every week, and I would prefer that you guys are here at this time every Monday, but it is not required after today. And these will be posted up on a YouTube channel for you guys to watch later. Cool. So today I'm just going to take attendance by screenshotting this participant tab. And that should be good enough. If anybody comes in late, we'll deal with that later. Sweet. Okay. Good. Anybody have any problems getting on here? Looks like everybody did all right. Cool. So first thing we're gonna do, I'm not a huge fan of icebreakers, but I want to at least hear from each of you before we get started. So we're gonna go around. I'll call on you in the order that you're appearing on my screen, and just give me your name, what your major is, because I know we've got a pretty diverse group of people in here, and then where you're located right now, especially if you're not in San Diego, because that's going to be important in our class later this semester. So we'll come back to me. I've got my own stuff, but let's start with Ayu. The first one.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Sweet.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ayu Babet, and my major is public health, and I live in El Cajon, San Diego.
One sec. All right, next we've got David.
Hi, I'm David. My major is kinesiology. I currently live in Villa Alvarado on campus. And yeah.
Cool. Taylor, you're next.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm a journalism major, and I currently live at Emmett College on campus.
Joy.
Hi, I'm Joy. I'm an interdisciplinary studies major, journalism, psychology, and Africana studies, and I currently live in San Diego.
Cool. And then Ryan.
Hi, my name's Ryan. My major's in kinesiology, and I live in Aztec Corner on campus.
Awesome. Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm a criminal justice major, and I live in Sacramento, California.
Sacramento. Okay, Janice.
Hi, I'm Janice. My major is public health, and I'm currently in El Cajon, San Diego.
Then Heather.
Hi, I'm Heather. My major is kinesiology fitness specialist, and I'm in an off-campus in San Diego.
Right. Claire.
Hi, I'm Claire. I'm actually just taking classes through Open University so I can fulfill some science requirements to apply for my doctorate in physical therapy. And I am in Chula Vista.
Cool. Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nicole. My major is social work, and then I'm in on-campus apartments.
Autumn.
Hi, my name's Autumn. I'm an industrial psych major, and I'm in Sacramento, California.
In Sacramento. Cool. Sebastian.
Hi, my name is Sebastian Asensio. I'm an electrical engineer major and live in Chula Vista, California. Yeah, California.
Awesome. Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm an international business major, and I currently live in University City.
Okay. Victor.
Hello, good afternoon. My name's Victor, and I'm an electrical engineer major, and I currently live in San Ysidro, California, so like 5 minutes from the border.
Okay. And then Cassidy.
Hi, I'm Cassidy. I'm a communications major and I live at Emmett College on campus.
Cool. Renee.
Hi, I'm Renee. I'm a psych major and I'm in Toledo, Ohio.
Okay. And then Jerry.
Hi, my name is Jadi. I'm a public health major and I live in iconic Alvarado in San Diego.
Brenda. Look frozen. Jake might be having some trouble there. All right, let's move on. Alejandro.
Hi, my name is Alejandro. I am a construction engineer major in National City here in Diego.
Cool. Casey.
Hi, I'm Casey. I'm a psych major and I live at 5025. What's up?
All right, Dalia.
Hi, my name is Galia. I'm a construction engineering major and I live in National City.
Cool. Bianca.
Hi, my name is Bianca. I'm a business entrepreneurship major and I live at iconic on Alvarado.
Okay. And Cassandra.
My name is Cassandra. I am a psychology major and I live in San Diego.
Sweet. Nigel, where's your video?
I don't know where my video is. It's not working right now for some reason. But my name is Nigel. I'm a finance major, and right now I live at Mission Valley.
All right, cool. Yeah, I guess just work on getting that fixed for next time. We won't worry too much about it today. Armin?
Hi, I'm Armin. I'm a civil engineering major, and I live in Boulevard 63 apartments.
Cool. And
near
Ria.
campus. Mhm.
Hi, I'm Ria. My major is liberal studies, and I live in National City, San Diego.
All right, so most of you are in San Diego. Cool. Thanks for sticking through that with me. First day stuff's lots of fun. All right. All of the beginning stuff. I've got the PowerPoint, so I'm gonna share my screen here with you guys and show you what we're gonna be doing today.
Could I ask a question also really quickly?
Yeah, for sure. If you guys have any questions, feel free to just unmute and shoot. What's up?
Cool. Joined like I think like you cut off like mid-sentence. You said something about like not having to come on Mondays. I just want to confirm like what that was for.
Oh yeah, so for those of you who are not here yet when I said that, attendance is mandatory today. Attendance is not mandatory at this time in the future. I'm going to be recording all of these and putting them up on a YouTube channel, and I'll post that link on Canvas at some point, probably later this week. I still will be taking roll every week. The coordinator wants me to keep doing that, so I would like to see you all here on Mondays. If you really can't make it, maybe shoot me an email, let me know why you can't, but it is not required to be here at this time.
So there's no grade penalty for not coming?
There's no grade penalty for not coming.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. All right, so welcome to BIO100 Lab. My name is Mitch. I'm going to be your instructor for this semester on this lovely virtual classroom. It's going to be a blast. Here's what we're going through today. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Show you some things on Zoom. We're going to go over the syllabus, see if you guys have any questions about anything you saw in there. Briefly run through the Canvas page. Get to touch on all these websites and citizen science projects that we're going to be working on just briefly. Oop, not that far. A little bit of a course introduction, just kind of a general layout of things we might be looking at over the next couple of months. And then we have a brief lecture, very brief lecture at the end that should help you get started for what's to come. So moving on, a little bit about myself. I graduated from Cornell in 2016 with a bachelor's in environmental science. I minored in marine biology and climate change. I stayed there for a year afterwards doing research, and I published a couple papers involving sea star viruses. If anybody's heard of sea star wasting disease, I was working on that. After I finished working there, I worked for NOAA as a field biologist for a couple of years. I was working on fishing vessels in the Bering Sea, collecting data up there that's used to sustainably manage that fishery. It was a really cool job. And now I'm back here as a master's student. Just on my hobbies, windsurfing, music production, and backpacking. And there's my email. If you guys ever need anything, please feel free to just shoot me an email. I will try to get back to you as quickly as I can. I'm also a student and have my own classes I'm working on as well. Cool. I'm gonna do a little Zoom thing real quick. If you guys scroll up to the top of your Zoom screens, on that little toolbar up top, you all see the little thing that says annotate. There's a little pencil. You'll be able to click on that, and then it'll bring down another drop-down menu. Should have options like text draw, stamp. I want you to all open up stamp, and this is going to be a little redundant, but oops, not yet. Hold on one second. All right, now bring up your stamp and just stick any of those on the map wherever you are currently. I know most of you are going to be in San Diego, but just slap them on. Cool. Sweet. So I think at some point this might be useful for some of these online lectures. You can see there's a lot of options here. We can use it for some sort of practical communication between us while we're all online, because this is kind of just a weird situation to be teaching a lab in. And you kind of get an idea where everybody is. Pretty much all right on top of each other. So. All right, let's take a look at the syllabus. Stop annotating. All right, I'm going to share that with you now. Before I just start kind of going through this, did anybody have any questions off the top of their head about the syllabus, anything in there? No, it is fairly straightforward. So I'm just going to kind of skim through this. It's really not anything that's not standard. If you have got questions while I go, feel free to just unmute and toss them out there. Course materials. So the big one for this is our lab manual. We currently don't have it finished. The lab manual we've used in the past obviously is not super applicable right now because we're not face-to-face in a lab. We've created basically an entirely new course that you guys are going to do at home. So that should be finished, I think, in the next week or two. As soon as it's ready, you'll have to buy it. I will send you guys the link wherever you can find that. But for now, that is not something you need to worry about. We have a lot of websites that some might require codes and stuff to access, but anything you need for that, I will send you the info for. Shouldn't be too complicated there. Obviously, you need access to Canvas. And I don't think, nobody's had problems getting on Canvas yet, right? Everybody was able to check out the course. Cool. Course design. So we have this 2-hour and 40-minute block for this class, and that was designed for an in-person lab where we'd be doing new experiments every week, and I'd be there to help you guys hands-on in person. Due to the nature of this course and how we're going to be running experiments and lab stuff, we will, I'm almost certain, never use the full 2 hours and 40 minutes. What's probably going to happen is it's going to be something along the lines of I'll either lecture or be presenting a new lab thing we're going to be doing, and it'll take we'll probably max 30 minutes at the beginning of a lesson. And then it will kind of just be opened up for questions. I'll probably stay on the Zoom links during those times for like the whole 2 hour and 40 minutes if you guys need me. But for the most part, I'll just be kind of guiding you through your stuff from afar. And a lot of it you can't really do while you're on Zoom. So don't ever expect to really spend that whole time here. So all the more reason to not skip class and come on Mondays. So you're gonna be doing everything pretty much independently. You don't get a lab partner. I guess you guys could work on some stuff probably together out of the class, as long as you're socially distanced, wearing a mask. You're gonna need certain things, jars, access to water, some plants. We'll go over more of that once we get into some of the projects we're gonna be doing. One of the projects is gonna run almost the entire semester, and that's gonna be our ecosphere. I have a short video we're gonna watch on that later today. And then the other ones, they're gonna be kind of sporadic all throughout, but there's lots of cool stuff we're trying to figure out that is gonna work super well considering we can't be in person. Yeah, you may have to collect data every day depending on what we're doing. You're gonna be submitting work mostly on Canvas, and it's gonna be a mixture of maybe written assignments we have, a lot of screenshots of you completing work on these websites that we have. Your first assignment this week is gonna involve doing something like that. And then you will have 5 exams of 30 points. So those are all gonna be on Canvas. And I just wanna point out that I'm pretty sure on Canvas when they get set up, they're gonna say quiz. And I know that people see the word quiz and they take it as a different connotation as exam. Those are exams. So think of them as exams, not quizzes. You do get to drop your lowest score, which is really cool, but definitely take those seriously. Grading scale, pretty standard. Don't think anyone should have any questions there. Learning outcomes. Yeah, basic biology stuff you're gonna learn in this class. I think it's pretty cool that you guys get to do a lot of this stuff kind of out on your own. Makes it more, I guess, applicable to real world situations. And it's gonna be an interesting spin on things, but should be cool. Let's see, university policies. These are all pretty standard. Okay, I wanted to touch on this. Enrollment in the BIO100 lecture. So I want to point out that this course, while the same course code basically, is not correlated with the lecture. So if you have any questions about your lecture or any problems going on there, I am not the person to talk to about that. I can answer general biology questions pretty well. But if it's specific about your lecture, talk to your professor, not me. And vice versa. If you've got problems in the lab, don't go to your lecture professor because he or she is not gonna have any idea what's going on here either. Some of the material may overlap. I would expect the material to overlap, but that's pretty much the only similarity between these two classes. So definitely keep that in mind going forward. Academic honesty. Don't cheat, don't plagiarize. Have a high moral standard. I'm gonna hold you to it. If I notice you copying Wikipedia articles, that's pretty obvious. Don't do that. Yeah, just don't do those things. It should be pretty easy. I know we're not in an actual classroom, but please try and hold yourself to a high moral standard in this setting as well. Respect everybody else in here, respect me, and we'll all get along fine. Just don't be disruptive. I don't foresee that being a problem, but pretty straightforward there. And that's, I guess, safety stuff. You're gonna be doing all these experiments and things at home, right? There is gonna be glass involved. You're gonna be doing some, not dangerous, but things that you possibly could hurt yourself. Just be careful. You know, I'm not there to watch over you while you're doing these things. Don't drink Windex, don't break glass. You should be fine. And if you have any questions about anything that you're doing during the course, just please feel free to reach out, email me, and I will answer to the best of my knowledge. That seems like it for the syllabus. Anybody have any questions about that? Feel free.
I have a question. Like,
yeah.
When we're watching the lectures live, like, do you care for like eating during class and like stuff like that?
No, you can eat and drink as long as you're muted, so we don't have to listen to you chomping away. That's fine.
Okay.
As long as you're here and paying attention. I don't care. I'm drinking, obviously. Water. Cool. Yeah, that's fine. I always hated it when professors told me I couldn't eat in class. So, anything else? No? Cool. All right, let's briefly go over Canvas. Those are your names. Let's go ahead. Your view. All right, so this is what you all should see when you log on to Canvas. I've set it up so that any announcements I make will pop up right at the top of the homepage. Should be the first thing you see if there's anything new. Currently, I have the syllabus on the homepage. I'm probably just going to leave that there the first week, and then I'll switch it to the modules. There's currently no modules in there, so I didn't think they needed to be on the front page. For the modules, I'll be posting, that kind of started it, but I'll be posting week by week the link to this YouTube video whenever it gets posted, the PowerPoints that I've made, and then any assignments or anything else going on, and it should be organized by week. It might end up being organized by project for things like the ecosphere that carry on the entire semester. I'll figure that out more as we go along, but it should be fairly easy to figure out. Grades will be in here. Assignments, there's an assignment tab that isn't highlighted yet because I'm still working on it, but it will appear here above announcements. Don't think there's too much to go here. I'm new to Canvas as well. I used Blackboard when I was an undergrad, so still figuring it out, but it seems fairly easy. Does anybody have any questions about this site? Anything going on here? No? Cool. Oh, great. Let's go back to that PowerPoint. All right, syllabus, Canvas. My office hours. Okay, so I have two sections I'm teaching, this one and then one earlier I did today. So I have to hold two office hours, and I didn't want to make either one exclusive to one section in case people had conflicts. So I've opened both of these up to either section. So during these times, Tuesday 1 to 2 and Wednesday 2 to 3, I will just be in an open Zoom meeting. I'll put that link on the Canvas site as well. And you guys can just hop in whenever you want. If you've got questions, I'll be here. I'll probably just be working on my own stuff if nobody's around. If you don't feel like you want to talk to me or ask the questions you want to ask in that kind of open setting, you're welcome to email me and we can try and set up a personal meeting and I'll help you best I can. Just keep in mind with that, again, that I am also a student and have a lot of my own work to do. These times work well for me. It's going to be another recurring Zoom link, so I shouldn't have to send out a new one every week. It should just be the same. I guess right now, does anybody have conflicts where they wouldn't be able to make either one of those times? Cool, wonderful. All right, let's talk about this class a little bit. It is super hands-on. Pretty much everything you're going to be doing, you're going to be building or collecting data in the field. And I think we've done a really good job of finding things you all can do from home that are still going to highlight all the really important things we want to talk about. The ecosphere is awesome. It's like enclosed aquatic environments. You're going to be collecting field observations on local animals and wildlife. You're going to do algae cultures with brine shrimp. And we're going to make some sourdough, talk about yeast and cultures. I will be doing all of these along with you so that I can, a lot of the time I'll be like recording myself doing them so I can post those videos so you can all see how it's done. So if any of this scares you, don't worry about it. I have no idea how to bake sourdough. We're gonna find out together and it's gonna be a good time. So for resources with that, like I said earlier, we've got a bunch of websites that I'm gonna show you guys here in a second. Work on getting that lab manual to use soon. Video files, things from me, things from the coordinator, and me. I'm a good resource. I have pretty good experience with biology since I've been doing it for 6 years. feel free to talk to me whenever you want help. Grades, just going to be submissions on Canvas and those 5 exams. So those are really important. I know you get to drop one, but try to do well on all of them. Important notes. Okay, first of all, I don't think we have any issues. That's why I asked you guys' major earlier, but this is not a course for biology majors. So if you are a bio major and you're in this class, you should not be, and you need to figure that out. But I think you guys were all fine there. And again, this is not coordinated with the lecture, so don't mix those up. Sweet. Course objectives. We're going to demonstrate biology's relevance in everyday issues. And I think this is one of the coolest parts about how we're doing this course is if you do all these lab things in our lab setting like we would normally be doing, you don't really get to see the implications in real time or anything happening out in the world. I think having the opportunity to really kind of walk around your neighborhoods or your local environments and do all these biology things is going to be a super interesting way to kind of highlight the relevance of these things to everyday scenarios. So I am looking forward to seeing how that works out. You may see me wandering around San Diego if you're here taking pictures of fungus and stuff, cactuses. And facilitating your actual hands-on participation in science. So a lot of the stuff we're doing is in conjunction with these big citizen science projects, which I'll talk about in a second. So some of the data you're going to be collecting and working with is being used in real time by scientists doing different ecological studies or biological studies. And that's pretty sweet too, if you're actually helping with real stuff. Cool, so let's talk about some of those websites. First, what is citizen science? The limiting factor for almost all biological research, actually most scientific research in general, I guess especially biological, is money and manpower, right? The 2 things that are really gonna restrict the scale at which you can run a project. And some biological projects, especially ecology projects, are so much more powerful if they're like massive scale. So the data we're collecting allows these projects to actually happen, basically. You know, you're getting data for these scientists that otherwise wouldn't be able to collect this stuff themselves. And it's a super helpful part of the scientific community. Then we're also, this is all gonna be project and problem-based learning. So normally in a lab setting, I'd be there to kind of hold your hand through all these experiments. I'd be in the room with you. But you're going to be out in the world doing this stuff on your own. So you're going to have to problem solve, basically. If you ever encounter things that you can't immediately fix or I'm not there to help with, you're going to have to work this out on your own. Should teach you some pretty good skills while you're out there, and should definitely reinforce that logistic result relationship. So we get to see how your problem solving actually works in real time. So let's go to some of these sites now. I'm going to start with the iNaturalist one because this is where you're going to have assignments this week. Let's share the screen. All right, so this is my iNaturalist page. I currently have not added content yet, haven't had a chance to get out and take pictures of stuff. But basically what this site is this is one of the big citizen science ones. It's a huge collection of data used for biodiversity studies. So you go out and you take pictures of different wildlife, as you can see by these examples, mallards, sparrows, and you post them on here and they get identified, I believe. You might have to identify them yourself. I double check that. And then scientists use these to determine geographic ranges of animals, spreading of invasive species. You can do a ton of different studies with the data that's put on this website. I would highly advise going to their what is it page at some point, reading through this. A lot of good information there. Tells you a lot about what your data is going to be used for. Your assignment for this week is setting up an account on here. There's a 2-part assignment. So first is setting up an account, and then you are going to have to submit 5 photos on your content page, and they all have to be of local wildlife to wherever you are. So if you're not in San Diego, don't worry, it doesn't have to be San Diego wildlife, just anywhere around where you are currently located. Real quick, I want to see a thumbs up or thumbs down if you think Lawn grass is a wild organism. Yes, no. Grass on your front lawn, wild? All right, it is not. Do not send me a picture of grass. We put that there. That does not count as a wild organism. Weeds growing in your lawn, that does count as wild because those are naturally occurring. So, fine line. If you have any questions about what would be okay and what would not, just ask me. Here's an example of somebody, this is our coordinator who actually has some stuff on his page already. He's actually done a lot. Oh. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, you get a map of your things that you've found. He's found an owl, swallowtail, some finch, spider, some doves. So a lot of birds, snake. Obviously animals I think are going to be a little more exciting than plants, but whatever works for you, whatever's naturally occurring in wherever you're located. So by next lab, you need to have an account. You need to have submitted 5 things on here. And once you have those submissions, you need to go to your content page. Make sure I can see that it's you. So I would advise uploading a picture as well. You're going to screenshot that page, and that screenshot is going to be uploaded to Canvas. And that's going to be how I've determined that you've done it. Also, I would write my username down, and you can like follow people and stuff. I'd follow me so it's easier for me to find you all, so I can double check things. Cool. So that's iNaturalist and your assignments for this week. Some of the other ones we have. Let's sign up this first. Oh, let's just go this again first. Cool. iNaturalist. Yep. So must sign up this week. Log 5 appropriate observations. Screenshot of your observations. Don't take pictures of the grass. Those are the rules. Cool. Now let's go back. All right. So some of the other websites you're going to want is this sourdough website, and I have all the links on that PowerPoint that I'll be sending out, but let's click through these real quick. So this is going to be our sourdough project. There's a lot of stuff. So I'm going to show you like 4 links right now. I would advise before next lab, just kind of poking through them. You don't need to do anything on them, but it'd be nice to look through, kind of get an idea of some of the stuff we're going to be doing. So we got sourdough. We're going to be doing a COVID thing, which is what I needed to figure out if you guys were in San Diego for or not. The SciStarters site, at some point you're going to have to make a profile on here as well. I've got one set up. And then this Zooniverse site has a ton of citizen science projects that are going on. I don't know for sure which ones we're doing on here yet, but there is a lot of really cool stuff. So I like this one. I think you should spend some time poking around and looking at what they have to offer. All right, I'm going to show you guys a quick video real fast now of Ecosphere, because it's going to be our first project. We're not going to watch all 10 minutes, just watch like the first 5. Hold on a sec. Just so you guys have an idea of what this is. Share computer sound. All right. You guys should hear the sound from this video. If anybody doesn't, just let me know.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope everybody has had a great day so far. It's the evening for me. I'm kind of fighting against the sun here. I want to get outside and get working, but what we're going to do today is something a little bit different. I'm going to be making an ecosphere, a closed aquatic environment inside of a mason jar. I know some of you probably aren't into that, but I think it could be kind of a cool project, and what I'm going to use for this ecosphere might be something that you're interested in. I know a lot of you guys are just waiting for the update on the desert tank that we set up. If you didn't see that video, I'll put a link for it in the description. Pretty fun build. A lot of you guys were into that. But you know, that's coming. We'll get to that as soon as the livestock shows up, which is coming soon. So here we have a few different jars. I got a bunch of them. Oh God, don't fall over. Let's see, where's our last one? Where's our last one? Where are you, dude? There we go. That little guy. Okay, so we have 4 different jars here. And I think what I'm going to do is we're going to use this big one because I want to kind of do a little bit of planting in it. And I don't see myself being able to get into this one very well. Well, I could, but especially not this one. So we're going to take this jar and use this as our ecosphere, our little closed environment. I think this one's going to be really good because it has the latch seal. I don't think mason jars by themselves create an airtight seal unless you like heat them up or put them in the oven or something like that. So I think this is going to be really good. Let's go ahead and take this outside and get the materials for our ecosphere. I hope the weed whacker isn't too distracting, guys, but check this out. So here we have a couple of ponds that I did last year. This one was Liguigia. I don't know if it was Palustris or if it was Repens, but you can see it's still intact. All of these stems still viable. I definitely want to use some of that. We have no aquatic plants in here other than these random weeds that decided they wanted to grow in here. And then we have one of dwarf sage over here, okay? So the first thing we need for our ecosphere is some soil. We want to get some material down here. This is just sand and soil. So let's see if we can grab a handful. It's going to have a lot of roots in it. Cool. Oh, this is going to be messy. Boom. Okay. Those are some tall pieces. I might cut these. Maybe I don't need to plant it. Let's grab some more soil. Got a good spot here. There we go. I'm just kind of layering it in. Trying not to cover up all of these plants. And if, maybe I won't even... I was originally going to take some cuttings and then plant them, but I might be able to just get away with this. Plant this one in here a little bit. There we go. So we got a few stems in there. It's kind of hard to see, but we have a decent amount of soil in there. Now I'm just going to fill this whole thing up with water from this pond. Might need a scooper. That is turbid. So we got a little bit of airspace up here. I think that's all that I want. Let's go ahead and seal this thing up. Okay, come on, buddy. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Let's check out our ecosphere 12 hours later after we filled it up. Okay, so it was really muddy. I waited for 3 or 4 hours, nothing settled out, so I had to go outside and kind of refill it, pick up some water from the other side of the pond that was clearer, and now here we are the next morning to take a look at our little system here. So I tried to set it up where we have the most light possible. You see I put the flashlight up here to try and illuminate the jar a little bit better. It's kind of tough to see, but there are areas right when we zoom in here we can get the camera to pick up some more light. So anyway, let's talk about this thing. So we have a couple inches of the substrate, and that is soil and concrete sand, which made up the substrate of the pond that grew this Liguigia last year. There's also some oak leaves and other, random materials in this thing besides.
All right, you guys get the point. I think we're starting this next week. So I will give you information on materials and stuff as I find out more about that. You're going to get to make 2 of these during the semester. It's possible your first one is going to die and fail. I know mine have in the past when I've done this. At that point, we're going to do some hypothesis work. So you're going to work on hypothesizing things you could change in your ecosphere or some new strategies to see what happens in the second one. This is the one that's going to be going on all semester. It's a pretty cool project. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting that one going. Let's see. Here's a list of all those links of those sites I just went through. Again, I'm going to post this PowerPoint on Canvas, hopefully by tonight. So you guys can go through and look at these however you want. I think I'm also going to set up a module that's just important links. So we'll have all of these as well as like my YouTube page, and then anything else that comes along that we need some website access for. Cool. That is it for the general overview of the class. I know I sent you guys out that class schedule. I didn't want to look at that today because it is going to be changing. I think it gives you a good general idea of the topics we're going to cover and some stuff we're going to do, but I don't want to mislead you on the dates for anything, so prefer to just leave that as a guideline. Does anybody have any questions about anything we've gone over so far before we have our short little lecture intro to the scientific method?
I wanted to ask if we need just a separate notebook for this class. Will the notebook enough?
Hold on, you broke up a sec. Do that one more time.
Oh, I was asking if we need just a blank notebook for this class, or if the lab notebook will be fine.
I would get
like just sort of like will we take?
I'd get
a second one. Okay.
Yeah, because you are going to want to take some notes on the lectures. I'm not going to have like huge lectures for this class, but there's going to be some important information. And I don't know, I've always found a notebook, separate notebook, helpful.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, of course. All right, any other questions? Those of you who don't have your cameras on, is there a reason for that? There we go. Thank you. I'd like to see your faces if that's possible. All right, we'll cruise into this then. Today we're going to talk about the scientific method, and I'm going to tell you what biology is if you don't already know. Cool. First, what is biology? Very generally, it is the study of life. I think for the most part, everybody knew that bit. It can be an incredibly multidisciplinary science. You can get down to looking at chemical compositions of creatures, physical structures, physiology of organisms, molecular interactions, and then everything up like super macro scale to evolution and things like that. We're going to be talking a lot about phylogeny this semester. So that's a general overview of what biology is. Scientific method is very generally a method of acquiring new knowledge. And we can trace remnants of this in actual science back to like the 17th century. It starts off pretty basically with observations in your everyday life. Walking around, seeing things and wondering why these phenomenon are occurring. And from your observations, you then will establish hypotheses, which are a proposed explanation for that phenomenon. Basically, you're trying to figure out why this thing that you're seeing is occurring, what's possibly influencing these things in your natural world, and can you test it? So that's the next step after hypothesization, is testing your hypothesis by doing experiments. And that's largely what we're going to be doing in class this semester. We're going to be establishing hypotheses about our projects and then testing those, especially with the ecosphere, and definitely all the other ones as well. Finally, at the end, you're going to take your data and your observations, and you're going to interpret all of that, establish if your hypothesis was correct, if it was wrong, if you need to adjust your hypotheses to better fit your scenario. Eventually, you get a result, basically. If a hypothesis is tested enough, you get enough results that are concurrent, that support a certain hypothesis, this becomes a theory. So in science, a theory, I think in the general world, you think of a theory as like kind of a questionable thing, but in science, a theory is basically considered law. Some big theories that you may or may not have heard of are cell theory. Cell theory is basically a building block of biology. It just says that all all life is made up of cells. And that's pretty much just accepted as truth at this point, but it is still called cell theory. Another big theory is the theory of evolution. Again, backed exceedingly by science and pretty much considered law at this point. Another big one is theory of gravity. So, theories in science, not so much your typical theories. Cool. let's look at an example of the scientific method in the real world, especially relevant to California. Sunburn. I'm sure many of you have spent some time at the beach down here and potentially come back with a bad sunburn. So in this kind of scenario, let's walk through it with the scientific method. You spend a lot of time outside, you get super red, and you're in a lot of pain. So this is your observation. You're like, wow, this really hurts. Why did my skin become so red, and why does it hurt so much? And you look around, and you kind of hypothesize that, wow, I was in the sun for a while, so maybe it was the sun that made my skin burn. And you come to this by observing random stuff. You realize that you weren't outside at night. It wasn't the moon that did it. You weren't inside when it happened. But collectively, your observations will come together. You can make that hypothesis. But it's just a hypothesis. You got to test it. So in this example, you're going to find two similar sunny days, spend one inside and one outside. So your inside is basically your control at this point, or it's your independent variable. So you being in or out is your independent variable, and you're trying to measure the darkness of your skin, redness of your skin, and that is your dependent variable. So in a scientific method process like this, your independent variable is the characteristic that you're testing, and your dependent variable is the outcome. These are important to the projects we're going to be doing. Keep those in mind. In general, if you're doing science, you're not going to do two similar sunny days because that's not statistically significant. You have to do a lot to really prove something, but it works for this example. So you realize through this experiment that spending time outside is when you get burned, spending time inside you don't. So you can interpret that data and say my skin didn't change when inside but became redder when outside, so it has to be something about the sun. To be fair, I think that's a pretty general theory to draw from this. I know we know it's true at this point, but I would be careful about things that broad. We're going to talk now about controls, and we're going to stick with the same example. So keep the sunburn in mind as we talk about negative and positive controls. The negative control is a control group utilizing a treatment that does not expect a result, and a positive control group is a control group utilizing a treatment known to produce results. So in the instance of sunburn, if you want to test a new theory, we've established now that the sun causes sunburn. But now we want to test if using sunscreen helps prevent sunburn. So we need some controls, because in science there is inherently error and there is inherently bias that are going to affect your results. So you need some things in there to stop that from happening and not muddying up your data. So in this instance of using sunblock, a good negative control would be to have, you're going to need three people. So you have one person go outside with the sunblock on, then you have one person go inside, stay inside. That's a good negative control because in this instance, we know that staying inside does not elicit a reaction from the sun. You're not going to get sunburned if you're inside. Then we need a positive control group. So somebody draws the short straw in this experiment and has to hang out outside without sunscreen on. And they are the positive control group because you know that if you are outside in the sun, you are going to get sunburned. You are eliciting a reaction. So that would be a treatment that is known to produce results, right? So now you have all these controls. You have your treatment group, which is the group with the sunblock on, and you can effectively hypothesize and test whether or not sunblock protects you from the sun. So that is a general overview of some controls, as well as your independent and dependent variables, as well as these scientific methods. Sorry, I'm saying it right now. You're going to be utilizing these in pretty much all of the projects we have for you. A large part of the things you're going to be submitting are your hypotheses, your test results, your observations. These are just going to be inherently hand in hand with lab work. And it's what you're going to be great on. So keep these in mind, super important for lab biology. And lucky for you guys, that is all there is as far as lecture stuff goes today. So super easy first day, mostly introduction stuff. Again, I'll be posting this whole slideshow on Canvas later today, hopefully later today. Are there any questions on that material or anything I covered previously today?
Yeah, I have a question real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
So you said the classes usually have been in what we're going to be doing for lab. How long can we expect classes for type of classes? Usually, like, I know you said less, way less than 2 hours and 40 minutes, but like general time.
I don't know, maybe about an hour. I think it's going to be pretty standard. It's not going to be the same every time. Testing days are going to probably be longer. Days where I'm introducing new projects, those are going to be longer because I'm going to have to probably show videos of myself doing it or be walking through them in person with you. But for things like the ecosphere that there's, you know, 1 day setup and then we do the whole semester, there are going to be days where I'm really just kind of checking in, seeing how things are going. Might have some new material to lecture on. It's going to vary. I would assume on average, probably about an hour for this class.
Thank you.
We're ever going to be 2 hours and 40 minutes. Cool. Any other questions? Oh, no.
I actually have a question regarding attendance. Like, how's that recorded?
So the way I did it today is I just pulled up the participant sheet on here and I screenshotted who was here. So I'm going to do that again now that we're at the end because I know some people have come and gone. It looked like some people moved around maybe. I'm going to stop sharing. All right, that's just me. Yeah, so that's how I've been doing it. Seems like the easiest way to do it. I'm not going to go around and calling you guys when your names are all right in front of me. I'll do this again now. So got it. Cool. All right. Any other questions? No. All right. Who can remind me what is due by lab next week? Any volunteers or I will start calling on you. Yeah, Sebastian.
We have to turn in the OMaker profile on iNatural and we have to upload 4 photos, right?
5 photos.
5 photos.
What do you have to do after you upload the 5 photos?
You have to post a screenshot of it to Canvas, I believe.
Yes. So those are
and also follow you.
Those are the 3 things you gotta do. Yeah, you don't have to follow me. I would advise doing it. I probably will post cool stuff at some point because I'll be scuba diving and taking pictures down there. It would at least be interesting. Cool. So those 3 things. I'll post the assignments on Canvas. You'll get reminders of them, but you know, write that down. Easy stuff. Not a hard first week for you. Anything else? Anything about the syllabus? Anything about Canvas? Anything I can help with? Oh, before we go, please remind me if you are not in San Diego. Let's go one at a time. I don't know how we're going to do this. Yeah. Give me a thumbs up if you're not in San Diego. Autumn, I've got you. Who else? Got you. Who else is not in San Diego? I'll throw more. Okay, got you, Jennifer. All right, that's it. Sweet. Awesome. Thanks for coming, everyone. I'll be posting this video and all that other stuff I talked about as soon as I can. I hope to see you all next week. You are free to go.